Welcome everyone to the World Engineering Day celebration by INWES. We've got a short video on regards of this day, so we're going to play it for you. That was our celebration video for World Engineering Day. We are going to have lots of great engineers talking today, and we hope we can learn a lot from them. We are going to start with another video because Jenny Spiga, who's our first speaker, won't be able to participate today. So she sent us a video for her intervention. And we'll hear from the project that INWES is doing with Warwick University.
Good morning, everyone. And first of all, I apologize for not being able to talk to you in person, but I hope you still enjoy listening to the projects that we've been working on in the last couple of years to understand how we could enhance a research culture and empower people's voices in collaboration with the International Network of Women Engineers and Scientists INWES. So first of all, happy World Engineering Day. I'm actually a scientist as I work as an assistant professor in physics at the University of Warwick, but I do collaborate a lot with the School of Engineering, and in fact, I am a medical physicist. I work on methods to improve radiotherapy to treat cancer, and therefore my work could also be classified as biomedical engineering. So first of all, what is research culture? It is basically the environment in which research and innovation happens. Research culture includes basically everything that supports researchers in doing what they do. So behaviors, values, expectations, and attitudes of our research community. Research culture influences career paths as well, and also the way in which research is conducted and communicated. The University of Warwick, as well as INWES and other networks, is very committed to enhance research culture so that researchers can work in the best possible way. Enhancing research culture is not something that an individual can do, but it is a community effort, and this is the starting point of our networks and projects. We started from a fact, and this fact is that there is an underrepresentation of women, people with disabilities, people from ethnic minorities or socially disadvantaged groups in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, which is what we call STEM. So if we look at the percentage of employed professionals who are women during time, we see that in the 1960s, for example, the situation was quite alarming. In the best case scenario, which was biology and mathematics, we had a participation of about 27%. But if we look at engineering, the percentage was very alarming, 0.9%. With time, the situation has mostly increased. I believe now we reached a percentage of 30% in engineering and almost parity in the biological sciences. So if we look at the distribution of the percentage of employed professionals who are women in STEM in different disciplines, though, we can see a big variation. So the best case scenario is biology and chemistry, but at the very low level we have several strands of engineering. Is the situation improving over time? Yes, in general, we've seen an increase in women's representation, but I would like to draw your attention on the case of computer science, where we had an increase until 1986 and then gradually a decrease, which is quite alarming and actually a reminder that progress cannot be taken for granted, and therefore we need projects to ensure that progress is constantly made. Our first project was called Reimagining a STEM Research Culture, Lessons Learned from 20 Years of Evolution for Inclusive Representation in Science and Engineering. This project was funded by the University of Warwick, and it was done in collaboration with the International Network of Women Engineers and Scientists in WES, and it ran from February until July 2022. So what we looked at is what are the barriers to an inclusive STEM culture and what prevents underrepresented groups from progressing in their STEM research careers. So how can we enhance representation in STEM research and innovation for women, disabled people, and those from ethnic minorities or socially disadvantaged groups? To do that, we organized a series of events, online events. We started from a kickoff meeting in February 2022, where we discussed what we wanted to achieve. And then we had 10 virtual workshops going from March until June 2022, 2 for each INWES regional network. And we have 5, so Asian Pacific, Africa, Middle East, and North Africa, Europe, and America. So the first workshop was a dialogue workshop to introduce the project and to discuss the current status, the barriers and opportunities for equitable and inclusive representation to STEM research and innovation, both at the regional and national level where possible. The second was a knowledge sharing workshop, which showcases and discussed evolutions like policies, initiatives, projects, and interventions delivered in the last 20 years in promoting access to and participation in STEM research from underrepresented groups. Then we had a global concluding symposium to present and disseminate the outcomes of the project on an international scale, and also to celebrate INWES's 20th year anniversary. So here you can see some photos of our lovely events where we had more than 40 speakers, about 700 registered attendees, and so far more than 500 YouTube views, but this is still going. What we learned is that role models matter a great deal. We were all very happy to share. It felt very good to be part of a network. And also we learned that despite lots of surveys and initiatives, there is still a lot of progress to be done. As part of the project, we created a website with a collection of resources that you can access at the link shown here, where you will find lots of information on this matter. So the second project that we started in November 2022 is entitled Towards a Warwick STEM R&D People and Culture Hub, Empowering People's Voices. So what we wanted to do with this project that was still funded by the University of Warwick is to embrace the vision of our first project and increase and empower people's voices using a series of virtual and on-campus events, creating videos and case studies to celebrate and showcase how impactful the research can be from underrepresented groups, and to encourage access and participation of these groups and networking, of course. So today, this event to celebrate World Engineering Day is part of the events organized in collaboration with INWES, this time organized by Belen Garcia. Past events include the online celebration of UNESCO's International Day of Women and Girls in Science, which was held on the 11th of February 2023 in collaboration with INWES, where we talked about impactful research being carried out by underrepresented groups in different parts of the world. We had South Korea, we had Africa, we had Italy, and the second one is a conference that was held in person at the University of Warwick at the beginning of this week, on Monday, the 27th of February 2023. And it was called Engineering and Science for Deeply Uncertain Times. This was done in collaboration with the Enhance project, and it was a one-day conference with the aim to provide a platform for an in-depth exploration and innovative solutions and strategies that enable the building of a more sustainable, equitable, and resilient future. This was done in collaboration with the Sustainable Cities Global Research Priorities Program in Warwick, and we had different delegates coming from different parts of the world. The next steps include the participation to the CSW 67 Forum, which will take place from the 6th until the 17th of March 2023. We will be participating online. We have an online space to organize different events, and we will promote research carried out by people from underrepresented groups, serving as role models. This year the theme is Innovation and Technological Change and Education in the Digital Age for Achieving Gender Equality and the Empowerment of All Women and Girls. Next events include the delivery of a networking event to be held on campus at the University of Warwick with postgraduate students and early career researchers in collaboration with the Warwick Women Engineer and Scientists Network. It also includes the creation of two 2-minute videos to promote the pioneering research of Warwick scientists from underrepresented groups, to show that research has more than one identity. And of course, we have our ongoing aim to connect people working in STEM who are facing the same challenges. And now to conclude, I would like to talk a little bit about my experience. You know that in the career of a scientist or in engineering, it is the same. There are different confidence levels that vary with experience. So in my personal experience, I started with little confidence with my physics degree. Then I did my PhD. My confidence was growing. I was working in a big research center, which is called the synchrotron, because I am a medical physicist and I work on cancer radiation therapy. And this is a very powerful machine that can produce very powerful X-rays. And then I moved to the UK to start my postdoc, and my confidence kept growing. And then I became a mom, which was amazing. I learned lots of new skills. I learned to be organized, resilient, patient, and also how to deal with conflict resolution. And then what happened? My confidence suddenly dropped. I had a career break and I reached the so-called valley of despair. I didn't know what to do. And thanks to the Daphne Jackson Trust, I was able to return to my career. This is something very, very important because I never lost my passion for science, but research career paths can be very different, and they allowed me to go back to my career. After that, I learned I had a lot of new opportunities, new groups and collaborators. I published, I went to conferences, I had a mentorship, lots of new friends, and this is to show the importance of a network. And then I had other awards to end up with a permanent position. So to conclude, I like this sentence of Charles Darwin: in the long history of humankind and animal kind too, those who learned to collaborate and improvise most effectively have prevailed. So I would like to thank you very much all for your attention. It has been a pleasure to present our projects. And I would like to conclude with a collage of photos, which is one of the outcomes of our last project. We asked everyone to share with an hashtag what enhancing research culture meant to them, and I particularly like it as it includes people at different stages of their career, from early career researchers to professors, to people working in industries, as well as men and 2 girls who are still in secondary school but already fighting to empower people's voices. So happy World Day of Engineering. Goodbye.
Thank you, Jenny. That was beautiful. And yeah, I like that it wasn't just the Warwick project, but also a bit of her experience, which was very, very interesting. Now we are going to have Johnson Kim, who is the president of InWest, shares a few words with us.
Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for joining the InWest webinar in collaboration with the University of Warwick. I would like to first of all convey our big congratulations to all engineers around the world. On behalf of the board of directors of InWest, I would like to express our thoughts and our message that InWest joins the celebration of World Engineering Day for Sustainable Development. Engineering is a key to sustainable development, and I think we all agree on this. And innovative engineering solutions are crucial to creating a more resilient and equitable world. Engineering must be done by both women and men, and we need diversified and inclusive talents in engineering. And thus, InWest aims to build a resilient world by ensuring the full and effective participation of women and girls in science and engineering. I would like to just briefly give you an introduction of our organization, especially for those of you who are not quite familiar with InWest yet. We are an organization of organizations that is our members consist of organizations of women in STEM, and we comprise about 250,000 women from over 40 countries worldwide. Our membership includes not just organizations, but also corporate membership, university membership, and also individual members. Our vision is to build a better future worldwide through the full and effective participation of women and girls in all aspects of STEM. Our history goes back to 1964, when the first ICWES, or the International Conference of Women Engineers and Scientists, was held in New York. We started as a continuing committee for this conference, and in 2002, InWest was officially established as an NGO. And in 2004, we were incorporated in Canada as a not-for-profit corporation. In 2008, we became the official NGO partner of UNESCO with consultative status currently. And in 2017, we have gained consultative status of the UN Economic and Social Council, or ECOSOC. ICWES is the flagship event of InWest, which is an international conference for women engineers and scientists, which is held every 3 to 4 years since 1964. The most recent ICWES was held virtually in 2021 due to COVID, and this was hosted by the University of Warwick of the UK. The upcoming ICWES is ICWES 19, and this will be held in New Zealand. And this time we're hoping for a hybrid session, but we hope to see many of you in person in New Zealand in September 2023. This is a membership a map that shows the current membership of INWES. You see that we are represented in all continents of the world. We have members in Asia and Pacific. We have members in at the African region, African continent, also in Europe, the Americas, and the Middle East and the North African region. These are the board of directors who are currently working for furthering our mission. And you see here our 18 board members and our project manager. And they, as you can see, we are represented in different countries from all over the world as well. The objectives of INWES is to become an influential voice on STEM issues for the benefits of women in society, to increase the presence of women in mainstream STEM decision-making bodies, to promote exchange of information and best practices for outreach and professional development, to provide opportunities for networking worldwide, to support a range of global and regional projects, and to expand the opportunities for education and careers in STEM for girls and women. Some of the activities that we have been doing include advocacy, communications, research, and several outreach programs in gender in STEM. We have been supporting new STEM networks. We have conducted workshops, and when possible, we try to also seek travel support for members to attend international conferences. We have currently 4 regional networks, the Asia Pacific Nations Network, African Regional Network, the INWES Europe, Middle East and North African Network, and the currently being established network is the Latin American Network. And we hope that we will have a startup meeting in September at ICWES 19. Some activities, some photographs of our regional network meetings. These are activities that have been held by the APNN meetings. And we also have been quite active trying to collaborate with the UN activities, including trying to work together on fulfilling or trying to reach the Sustainable Development Goals for 2030. So we have been doing this, and the projects for this year include those in research and education, the UN Women Project, which includes the NGO CSW 67, which Jenny has just talked about briefly, and this starts next week, which is the 2 days after, from March 6th until March 17th. So I do hope that many of you will be participating here. We have this big conference coming up, ICWES 19 in September, and we have a series of webinars that will be planned, including this one that you are attending today. And in addition, we have regional network annual meetings and activities according to the different regional networks. So I hope that many of you will be joining us at ICWES 19 in New Zealand. And also, I hope that you will join us in our INWES activities year-round. And please visit our website at inwes.org. And if you have any questions, I would please ask you to contact us at info@inwes.net or president@inwes.net. I hope and I look forward to meeting many of you at ICWES and also in our activities so that we can all together build a better future worldwide through the full and effective participation of women and girls in STEM. Happy Engineering Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Jensen. That was a good presentation of our projects, I think. We are going to start talking to the engineers we have invited and to hear from them and their experience. We're first going to speak with Siu Kien Ma. I hope I didn't butcher the name too much. Siu Quyen is the current Dean of the Faculty of Engineering and Computing at First City University College. She is also currently an appointed corporate member of the Women Engineers section of the Institution of Engineers Malaysia, IEM. She has served in various capacities since 2014, including as a chairman and IEM council member and as APNN representative for Malaysia, demonstrating her commitment to the advancement of women in STEM fields. Siu Quyen is an active advocate for STEM education, and she has contributed to the promotion of STEM through various activities, aiming to inspire young women to pursue engineering and to address the gender gap in the profession. So the floor is yours.
Thank you, Valen. Let me share my screen. Give me a minute. Okay, can I check? Can you all view my screen? May I check? Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Sorry, we were
Okay.
nodding. We could see the presentation before. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, there it is.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Invest, for the opportunity to share about my career history. I always believe that my career is a very normal one, so I'm not so sure whether my sharing will be very interesting. Okay, so thank you very much. And okay, I'll start with a little bit about myself. So I'm actually born in KL. Okay, so I'm from you see Kuala Lumpur at that time was not like Kuala Lumpur today with the high skyscrapers and towers. I was from a humble background in Jalan Samping. Samping at that also means that something in Malay or a gangster area somehow. Okay, so it's also a place that have very nice food. And you can see that I put two flags here, the Malaysia and China. This is because my father is from Penang, Malaysia, and my mother actually originated from China. So in a way, I'm actually the second generation. Of course, I'm born in Malaysia. I never know any other country other than Malaysia, but yeah, my mother is from China. Okay. So if we look at the back, this is the neighborhood where I stay. So over there, they have very nice food. And yeah, so coming from a humble background during my primary school days, I was given the choice to actually to go to the school nearby. Okay, I always walk to school, and okay, I put it this way. So these are actually my schools during my primary and secondary school. Okay, I put it this way. My primary school is Pudu Satu, is a girls' school. Okay, in Kuala Lumpur, there's a lot of girls' school, okay, and boys' school, and of course, there's co-education. So I was from my primary school, after my kindergarten, I went to a girls' school. And then I moved over to a secondary, also a girls' school. So almost 6 + 5, 11 years in a girls' school. Then I moved to a pre-U. Interestingly, because I always walk to school, right, to save on the transportation cost. So I went to a boys' school. Only pre-U has girls. So it was kind of a culture shock to me. So somehow I always relate to girls' school for so many years. And then in the university, of course, is a mix of co-education, right? Okay, so this is actually my secondary school. So my secondary school is Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan or Pudu Girls' School. It's actually one of the few Anglican schools in Kuala Lumpur. Okay, it is actually an Anglican mission school located in Jalan Fos. You can see our co-founders is actually by Eleanor Gage Brown, Josephine Fos. We still have their portraits hanging around in the school hall nowadays. Okay. The school was used as a base for the Japanese at that time during the war, and the school was built as the number of girls enrolled increased. Then we have a secondary school. Then, of course, after a few years, we changed the name to our local name, Sekolah Kebangsaan. Okay, so this is my formal education. Okay, interestingly, talking about formal education, okay, if someone were to ask me about my mother tongue, probably the first language I speak will be Mandarin, right? Because I said that my mother was born in China, but she came here to Malaysia very, very small. Okay, but because I went to a school that is near to my house, it was actually a Christian Anglican church mission school. And of course, the language there is actually English and Malay. So if you ask me how I think, probably I think I somehow do calculations in Mandarin. I don't know why, but I think in English and sometimes in Bahasa Malaysia. So talking about diversity, it's also quite interesting how our background built us. Okay, so after university, after my degrees, my masters, and then so I started as a young lecturer in Multimedia University Cyberjaya. So in the Faculty of Engineering. In Malaysia at that time, right, when I graduated or before I graduated, when I was in secondary school, engineering was a very popular profession. Every one of us were good students. They would like to become an engineer, of course, a lawyer, and also a doctor. Okay, so you can see the first engineering faculty that I joined is a huge. I think it has more than 100 staff. Right, but unfortunately, over the years, the team has actually narrowed down to very, very small. Because the number of students also reduces a lot. Okay, so this is actually my first job. So after certain years in the academic, then I figure out I want to move out. That was an interesting thing because usually people join the industry first, then move to academic. But after a few years in the academic, I thought of trying something new. So then this is actually the first time I choose to because my background is in electronics or maybe semiconductor. So so in Malaysia, the E&E industry, electrical and electronic industry hub is still in Penang, right? So somehow my first job, I just applied, and my first job is actually in Venture Electronics in Penang, right? So somehow by fate, I moved to Penang, okay, and start my first job as a new product introduction engineer, and also come product engineer. So Venture Electronics is actually an electronics contract manufacturing services company. So they manufacture products such as laser chips, PCB boards. They have many production lines. Basically, it's not like original equipment manufacturer. They don't own their product, so they manufacture for other people. So what I did as a new product introduction engineer is that we did product transfers. So product transfers that we will bring them from the original country and transfer it to Malaysia. So in the process of the transferring, okay, of course we need to localize it because the people, the machines, and the way we work are very different, right, in the original country, and also when it comes here for us to do mass production. So I'm involved in product and technology transfer, qualification plan, yield improvement plan, and also this is actually also an eye-opener to me. It was very different from when I was in academic. And then this is the time that, right, cross-functional team means that as an engineer, I always feel that my production manager has higher somehow priority than me. The main thing I feel so is because, well, whenever something is not working, if I were to talk about quality, I can't stop the whole production because my big boss director will always prioritize the production manager. Because if the product can't go out, can't be shipped out, right, there's a lot of cost to it. Okay. So in this case, my product transfer during my tenure there in Venture Electronics, I am engaged in product transfer from Switzerland, also from Shenzhen, China, and also from Thailand. So in a way, because Venture is a contract manufacturing company, okay, so it actually productions, we move around to bring products here and also to localize it. So this is what I did, some pictures that I found in my say archive, okay, regarding what I did at Venture Electronics. So basically here is where I work with the ESD Smoke. I have 2 products under me, which is the Erbium Dot Fiber Amplifier, and also one is the Fiber Laser. So in a production environment, in a way, we are very specific. For example, whichever production lines that we are in charge of. So every day we will be going back to the same production line, and discipline, and of course to follow work instructions is a very much needed thing. So that. I mean, I'll put it this way: in a production for mass manufacturing, if we are in the production floor, definitely there's not much room for innovation, because we have to follow strictly, so to ensure there's no returns, to ensure that it comply to everything. So on this process, of course, the good part is, okay, I was given the opportunity to lead the product transfer. So I was in Switzerland, in Shenzhen. Although the production line, the transfer, new product introduction, and from transferring up to mass production, there are a lot of things that I have to do. For example, machines in Europe, even such as the height, right? Because their people are taller. And when the machine is actually transferred to Malaysia, sometimes our operators are also from our neighboring countries. Somehow our status is shorter. So there are also certain things that I never think of, that localization is actually very important for a product to be good, okay? I think then, okay, let's look at it. So during my product transfer, of course, I took the opportunity, right, at Switzerland. I also visited Europe. So that's always a fun part to our job, right? So when we work hard, okay, on the weekend, I also try to play hard, okay. Then, okay, after a few years in Venture Electronics, then somehow I miss my Kuala Lumpur, right? So my parents are also getting older, so they are calling me to come nearer back to home. So, and this is the time actually I took up a job offer that I get. It's a ECEO's, it's a project management and business intelligence consulting company. So it's like more an IT company. My job role at that time was project manager. So my job is because the company is actually a digital project management and project management software company. So I was thinking that I will be given a lot of opportunities. I mean, of course, I was given a lot of opportunities in the project management in terms of digitalization and so on. So the first project that I mean, my project that I was being tasked to was actually on asset integrity and process safety. So this is actually based in Petronas Twin Tower. So, okay, let's put it that way, okay. I was always dreaming that I could work in the KL city center in nice shoes, high heels as an engineer. Somehow I have the feeling, right, putting on good makeup, because in the production, there's no makeup because I work in a clean room, right? Any particle counts, okay. So this is the chance that, and it's a project management company. It's more on strategy thinking. It's more on how to execute the strategies that were given to us. Okay, so this I just put some display on some projects that I'm involved in. Of course, in this company, okay, there are a lot of I work under my bosses here. My boss are from UK, and another boss is actually from UK and from the Nigeria. The two of them were my boss, okay? So of course, being in the Petronas Twin Tower, right? We have good food. We have a lot of opportunities. We had a lot of opportunities, and okay, the interesting part is to my horror. Actually, it's not to my horror. It was really something very good happened. I was given the chance. I was also not so sure why. I was given a chance to actually go offshore to lead the project. Yeah, to make it interesting. Actually, a lot of my colleagues were asking me, shouldn't your boss be going? Well, probably I'm the lady there, and my team is all male. And I'm not so sure why they chose me, but they asked me, and I said, why not give it a try? Well, then, of course, I think many of my colleagues are skeptical because I have to went through the BOSIAT training where I went into a helicopter, right? They turned me 360 degrees. I have to pass a lot of tests because I have to coordinate the project to go. I need to go offshore, right? In a very old platform. I have technical leads with me. So I'm more on the management to manage there's a mechanical lead, there's an electrical lead, there's also a civil lead. So basically we we went to an old platform with so we look at the asset integrity. So you can see that luckily there's another one lady with me. She was a very good chemical engineer. So all these are lead experts. Right, so I was in the project coordination. So surprisingly, I survived and it was fun. But the platform experience was something that I can't forget. Probably it's an old platform. So it was really interesting and also something new to me. Okay, so after this project. At that time, because the company that I was engaged to the ECEOs is actually a contractor for Petronas. At that year, the oil price was down, and there were in Malaysia there were a lot of companies contractors being cut off. So my boss told me that he didn't know whether the contract for the company will be renewed at that time. So at that time, Nilai University called me, all right, because they would because I started with academic experience, and they would like someone with industrial experience to actually be with the team. So I took the offer, and these are some of my academic experience. Nilai University, you see an aircraft there because one of their main program is aircraft maintenance engineer. Okay. So currently, I'm back to First City University College, which is located in Wan Utama, KL, and this is my current team. But today, the engineering students, I would say in Malaysia, be it male or female, the number is very, very low, even in our top universities in Malaysia. So the scenario has changed. For us, our computer science, especially after MCO, has a lot of students, right? But for engineering, is not to mention about diversity, even the number of students that consists of male and female is currently very, very low. Okay, so this is actually my team. Okay, this is actually what I have from my female school, my graduation year at Form 5. And we just have a recent gathering. So I always believe in female power because probably that I have spent so much of my lifetime in the girls' school, and we are still good friends. All of us have different careers. Now some are, of course, the technical. I think I'm the only one in the engineering, right? Some are in accountancy. Some even open pulp. They are just amazing. Okay, then of course, after so many years, I still go back to my school. So this is we still have consistent engagement. So every year I will try to support them in their career day. So if I can't make it, I will have my women engineers, for example, the past chair engineer Rosida to support. So sometimes if I'm free, I will support them. So I believe in giving back to the society, and I have the school is always close at my heart. And of course, these recent years, actually, I supported a lot of women in STEM activities, and recently last year we did with the funding from EIF, I think it's a US funding, and also we did a program targeted at B40. B40 means this target urban poor schools in KL. What we did was that we trained the teachers because we believe that is the multiplier effect. So we use the funding to train all the teachers. These schools are actually selected are the teachers at the schools which is in the B40 group. So we teach them some activities, also give them the materials for the activities, so that when after the training, they can actually go back to their schools and encourage the students to do engineering. So of course, then we also during in these recent years, we collaborated with MDEC. I was in different universities, a few different organizations also, but if we had a passion, I believe in every organization, we can actually find out a team, especially students and also lecturers to support us. So we did our recent one with Sichuan Technologies. So some of the programs, we actually train the teachers, and some of the programs actually we did it directly with the students. Okay, so this is also the Women in Science. Okay, for Women in Science, this is actually a program by Tecdom Penang in collaboration with Penang Women's Development Corporation and also Penang State Government to promote STEM to girls. So what we did is we targeted only Form 3 girls, and the trainers of the program also will be females. So it can be from my IEM Women Engineers group, or sometimes we will look around if we don't have the correct candidate trainer. So what we did is actually we train the Form 3 students. Previously we were doing a program, like a one-off program, but beginning last year, we used a different approach. What we did is we targeted the Form 3 students, and the Form 3 students, every month we have like 2-hour engagement session. So from April to October, and then we see the next year after Form 4, whether the students actually select science stream or art stream. Okay, so it's also target the school. The school teachers will choose the girls that don't really know whether they want to take art stream or science stream. Last year was the first year, and I think the result was quite promising. And this year we will start doing the event, but this year we'll do it physical. Last year it was actually virtual. Okay, so these are some of the activities, and yeah, I just go with some of the activities. So also, of course, there are a lot of other STEM networks. So during the STEM activities, I make a lot of friends. There are a lot of STEM networks in Malaysia. So yeah, depends on availability, what we can support, then we will support. And of course, before I end, okay, World Engineering Day. Last year was the first time we approached Meranti. Meranti is actually an agency in Malaysia. Is newly formed. It's not a new agency, but after a merger, it was renamed. So we approached them actually promote the World Engineering Day, and they agreed to actually celebrate it. Last year, we did it for a hybrid, and I brought my students here. Unfortunately, all my students are males last year, because last year it was also a hybrid also. And of course, once in a while, I get an award, but I believe that the most important thing is the work that we have done. So this is from us, me, IEM Women Engineers, and also Meranti. Happy World Engineering Day. And the World Engineering Day this year is going on today at Meranti. Today we have our Young Engineers Challenge targeted at secondary school today and tomorrow. And next week we will have the Design Challenge for university students, in which Women Engineers section IEM is actually a supporter. With that, I end my presentation, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was very, very interesting. You've really had a very interesting career. So I don't know why you were worried at the beginning, because yeah, it was very, very interesting. Now we are going to have Dr. Wenling Hong, Associate Professor from the Department of Naval Architecture and Ocean Engineering, Director, Center for Science, Technology and Society, SDS, Research, National Kaohsiung University of Science and Technology, Deputy Minister, Ocean Affairs Council, Taiwan. Hong has engaged in studies about engineering ethics, public communication of science from an STS perspective. In recent years, she has been involved in understanding the aftermath of large-scale engineering disasters, including the government's and public expectation of accountability and reflection from education systems. She has been studying the 2014 Kaohsiung gas explosion, an unexpected propane leak, which led to a massive explosion and killed 32 people and injured more than 300 and destroyed miles of roads in downtown Kaohsiung, and the counterpart of the Korean case, the Sewol ferry disaster. She has also devoted to promoting gender and STEM and served as the editor-in-chief for the monthly newsletter Taiwan Women Press, which published its 182 issue in February 2023. Hong is appointed as a Deputy Minister of Ocean Affairs Council in 2023. Congratulations, and the floor is yours. You're muted.
Thank you for the introduction, and hello, everyone. It is my pleasure to be part of this event. So you heard about my new position. So it is quite exciting, joining the government administration coming from an engineering background. So when I think about the roads traveled in the past, so I wondered what have brought me to my position today and what have given me courage and wisdom to do this. So today I want to share some of my the projects I was involved, and from that I want to give some suggestions. I want to share some thoughts for the younger generation. Okay, so starting as an undergrad student in National Taiwan University in the Department of Naval Architecture and Ocean Engineering. So I was the only girls in the class of 40s. So then when I finished college, I went on to University of Michigan in the US for my master and PhD, again, still in naval architecture and marine engineering. So after that, after I got my PhD in 2000, I did a full-time job for 5 years, which is homemaking and child rearing. And this is very special experience. Not a lot of people have the opportunity to have that, full-time for 5 years. But that's actually changed my life, because I realized that I have to look in other places other than engineering for support and inspiration, because it is a very different phase. And all my colleagues in engineering are basically male, and they just didn't get it. So not a lot of people can travel with me down that road. So at that time, I realized things has to change. So after 5 years of being a homemaker and being a full-time mom, I moved back to Taiwan and become a faculty member also in Department of Naval Architecture. But then I knew that my mind was different. I want to seek for interdisciplinary opportunities to grow and to enrich myself. So I have listed the professional service I've done over the years. So that's a lot of words, but to be in short, if somebody asks me to participate in a committee, basically I agree. So those are tremendous, opportunity to learn new field and to push forward our boundaries, to engage with different activities and to meet new people. So I've been members for government divisions, and also members in the committees of underwater cultural heritage, which is a new field which related to my original field of naval architectures. So it's actually a part of Ministry of Culture. And then I also, taking from that, I also helped the preparatory office of National Railway Museum. So that was in the field of museology and also industrial heritage. And I also participate in some councils in the Ministry of Education, lifelong learning councils, marine education councils, and also the National Science and Technology Museum. And a very exciting experience is to participate in Ørsted Energy, which is a private company, offshore wind energy developer in Taiwan. They offer green energy student scholarship, and which is very competitive because we have to interview applicants from all over the world, Taiwanese students, and they would apply for this very prestigious and high award scholarship. So from that, I was able to gain new visions and feel comfortable of dealing with different aspects of affairs, which is all related to oceans. And in 2018, I was voted the chair of Taiwan Science, Technology and Society Association. So Science, Technology and Society, also known as STS, or social study of science and technology, is an interdisciplinary field, and it's pretty young, about 30 or 40 years old. And that is very important to help me get grounded while at the same time, while I'm exploring a different field, because STS has its own theories and its own knowledge of thinkings. And it is very important for me and also to move forward from engineering to many different things I'm doing. And in 2017, I took the responsibility of being the chief editor of Taiwan Women E-Press, which is the monthly newsletter for the Society of Taiwan Women in Science and Technology. On the left, you can see that's the layout of our newsletter. We do have a couple articles translated in English. So to look at what I have done over the years, so here you can see some of the fields. So I'm working at pop science. So I also hold a lot of competitions, student competitions. And also we engage in engineering education reform. I work to promote industrial cultural heritage and look at engineering and society, and also taught engineering ethics, and also be promoting gender and STEM. So all of these surround the core of engineering, which the core thoughts is to make engineering a better place where more women would love to join and take part and contribute. But if you look at the numbers, so we are facing double minorities. So we're constantly seeking our identity. So in STEM field, there's only 30% of students are women. That's the Taiwan case. So if we think about engineering, that's lower, that's only 15%. But in the body of women, we are also the minority. So engineer students consist of a quarter of college students nowadays, I was quite surprised. Actually, this number is not bad. It's already pretty high. So in the past, it's probably only, 10 or lower. So we are in a situation where we are alone a lot of the time, but we don't need to feel or to be lonely, because when we join, we are so precious because we automatically bring diversities. So the diversity level are just jump high instantly. And this also is the reason what we did with the newsletter called Taiwan Women ePress. We also have website, we have fan page, we have Facebook group. And for this, we publish monthly newsletter on articles by or for or about women in STEM. And this is to build a community for STEM women, but also to promote and the public image of STEM women for all people. So, public, adult mentoring girls, young students, and women in STEM are all of them are our target audience. So this is also a platform for us to speak out and also to go forward and to see that we are part of engineering and we are part of the forces to make engineering the way it is today, and we need to make it better. So connecting women in STEM is so important. We need to build the village. So we have different type of groups and networks, international networks, advocacy groups, and country representative, and also women organization of a particular professions or women committees in a single societies. So these are a variety of groups. So it is important for us to join groups and find colleagues. So from the previous talk, you see that how important it is. And also that be aware that the society we are living in and we are interacting, it's very complex. So here I show an example because I try to figure out what people are thinking. So here is the example of dividing peoples in different age group. So I look at important acts, important regulations in Taiwan. So this is a Taiwan case. So 1988 is the first guidebook of the two-sex equality, first put into public. And then the Sexual Harassment Prevention Act, then the Sexual Harassment Prevention Guidelines in campus. So this is for the school. And then Gender Equality Employment Act, Gender Equality Education Act. So if I look at people in their 30s, so before they leave prime school, so Gender Equality Education Acts are already in place. And for the people in their 60s, you can see that after they pretty much end their child rearing stages, then the gender equality in employment took place. So they probably didn't have the firsthand feeling about how these would change the workplace and how these will affect and should affect the workplace culture. So I took this as an example to show that we interact with different age group of people at work and also in the society. And we have to be sensitive and know that there are many work to be done. And also to be positive because things are changing. When we have newer generations, they join the engineers, they join engineering world with new capacities and new understanding of gender equality and new visions. So therefore, we also we need to involve with society. And for the engineers, I just like the previous talk, I encourage every one of us to take part in the site and get on with the real work and be engaged with the place. That concludes my talk today.
Thank you so much. That was very, very, very interesting. Yeah, thank you. I want to read something I read on chat about, because we are now in the discussion time, so feel free to make questions in chat. Johnson said that she agrees with the experience at an all-girls school. It does build confidence. And I agree with it too. So I'm wondering how many of us come from an all-girls school, which in my country for right now, they are none, or at least non-public. But I've met a lot of women engineers that come from all-girls schools. So I wonder how much that gave us the confidence to go ahead and study engineering. So I don't know if anyone has something to talk about that.
Okay, I was in a all girls high school, a junior high and senior high. It's a private school. I think the point is not only the all girl environment, but it was also the school authority. They are very serious about science education. So at the time, which is about 40 some years ago, we did every single lab in the books, and which is very rare because a lot of schools, they would just teach about the result of the lab. So they didn't really put students to do the lab. So we did all the lab in biology, in physics, in chemistry. And also I like, well, of course, after I have 2 teenage sons, I realized that how nice they are, the teachers and sisters, how nice they were to us, because they were never, they might lost patience with us, but they never got furious. I've never heard a single bad words from their mouth. So we felt very protected, even though they could be very annoyed by this. But I realized how difficult it is to deal with teenage girls at the time. So I guess the environment made me feel safe to explore possibilities and truly be myself.
Thank you. We've got another question on chat. It's a question for Johnson. With access to so many organizations focused on increasing gender diversity in engineering and science, do you know if there's any data on gender diversity in engineering globally?
I am not aware of a specific data, but what I know is that I know that different organizations are trying to collect different various data, and from what I am aware, we are at a point where we are trying to do a collective effort in putting these data together. And this is, in fact, why we are doing projects like what the University of Warwick is doing in enhancing research. And for example, INWES is also doing a project called GIZE, which Sarah could maybe talk about briefly. And this is also an endeavor that we are pursuing to have a set of data. Yes, I know some governments do present data on this form. Like the Korean government, for example, has a center where they are collecting data on diversity pertaining mostly to women that in engineering and science, but not all governments do have this in a systematic way. that's what so it really depends on what kind of data specifically you would be looking for. So yes, I hope this answers your question.
Sarah, I don't know if you want to add something about the GISA project. Maybe not.
Sarah, you're muted. She might be speaking and she doesn't realize she's muted.
Probably.
Maybe. Oops.
Maybe
Hi,
not.
Johnson. Thank you. Oh, sorry, that was my
Yes.
question. So thank you for your
Yeah.
answer. And I think it's very good to know that there's a lot of this information available, even if it's dotted around. Oh, didn't introduce myself. My name is Abby, and I'm the founder for a organization as well, but called BWENG, Black Women in Engineering, to help with increasing diversity for Black women in engineering. And I was just asking, because if we need data going online, there's data in the UK available, there's data in the US available, but there's nothing that says that's there's nothing that shows the figures globally. And just listening to the experience of the speakers and yours as well, it sounds like there's a lot of similarities in our experiences, being the only female doing engineering and not having access to those networks. So it's a global thing. So I was just seeing if that's something that INWES maybe can help with, you know, driving the data collection for this, so we can have some, I guess, like a focal point for the global data when it comes to women in engineering.
Yes, definitely. This is something that we totally agree, and something that we feel must be done. But there is a limit as to what an NGO can do, because there is so much time that we can put into this. But we are going to do our best to do what we can. But I think most important is to try to send a message to the government. So one thing that we as an NGO should be doing would be to call for the need for data collections like this, so that each government will be able to participate and cooperate in this effort. So I think that's one thing that we should be also looking more seriously into. And thank you very much for your comments.
Thank you. Yes, because not even WFPO has aggregated data of this. They publish yearly some summaries of several countries, not even all of them. So there is no aggregated data. Probably the European Union does have some of it, but it's not global as far as I know either. So
one thing that I can share with you that is a starting project in the space industry, or in the space sector, is the UN USA, the UN outer anyway, it's a space organizations network which under the UN, which is already beginning this effort of collecting data, but they are more limited to the space sector. So I think if each sector starts doing this, eventually we can come up with more data.
good. Mary suggests publishing these inspiring stories and making them accessible to young girls. So yeah, I think that they're always inspiring. I had a question for both of our speakers, for Wenling and Xingqing. How has your relationship been with your male colleagues? Because I found that once I finished my studies and I was deemed worth of being one of the boys. So how was your experience?
Maybe I can start first. Okay. I put it, I will divide my experience into 3 types. One in academic, the other one in the production industry, engineering industry, and another one in the oil and gas where it was offshore. Okay, we put it this way. In the academic, I think awareness and gender equity mostly is good. Actually, in the academic industry in Malaysia, there's quite a lot of the proportion of female is quite high. But if we will look to at the top management, the vice chancellor, the board of directors level, there's not many females, and especially also in organizations in Malaysia. On the board of directors, there's very less females. And if there are females, they are mostly from the finance, from the law background. So somehow we believe that sometimes the policy to actually promote engineering or STEM, probably there's also lack of the people in leadership, especially women in the leadership in those backgrounds. Okay, if I want to put it to the production, the engineering, like the electrical and electronic industry in Penang, actually the dropout rate is very high for the women. I have a lot of friends who are women engineers. They perform very, very well. But after their childbearing years, they move on to sometimes to logistics, sometimes to purchasing department by choice. That is because for example, as a product engineer, if my technician calls me in the middle of the night, the machine is down, I will need to be in the factory if I cannot support by on-call. So it's very, very high, especially in those engineering companies. So of course, the dropout rate, the leaky pipe is so high, then there's not much women as engineering managers and so on. Even not to, because I'm in the semiconductor industry, even though the industry is actually quite good to women, that means in a way I will put it that it's not like civil that you have to work under the hot sun and so on, but the stress of the time that you require to be production, you can't really work from home. There's no such thing as work from home here, okay, in Malaysia. And also if I will put it in the oil and gas, especially in the offshore, well, I think now there are more and more women, but the women in that industry have to understand that, like, for example, if we go offshores, in a way they are, like, for example, the washroom facilities, but we can't expect it so good as what we have in the universities or in other organizations. And also in the offshore industry, when we are in platforms, there's no differences between male and female. That means in a way I have to take care of my safety because it's my job. That I can't expect a man to help me carry my luggage out from the helicopter or so on. So I don't know how they look at me, but basically but basically we get the work done. I would say, put it this way, because I manage that, so I will get the work done. I think, that's a little bit sharing from my side.
Thank you. So, Pauline, this is a very tough question to reply to. Because I think I carry 3 labels on me. So one is women, so one is engineering. The other one is interdisciplinary. Okay, so people my male colleagues or my colleagues in general, they can choose to like me or hate me because of all these labels. So some colleagues in engineering, they don't like interdisciplinaries because they like people who focus solely in a specific engineering field. And if they praise those kind of scholar who publish heavily, who collect points, and I'm not that kind. So I like to explore, I like to connect. So I do what I can in any situation to make things better. So for some people, I think I push too hard or I spoke too early, or, just that make some people very unhappy to be around me. But on the other hand, for those people who like interdisciplinary and they appreciate my engineering background, so I will be very valuable because I can communicate with people in many fields in social science, and I'm generally very curious and open-minded, and I like to connect all things together to find values and new visions, and also bring new thoughts to the issues. So but one thing I read very early in my career when I was exploring about gender and STEM, I read this in one of the papers who studied the life of engineers in a platform. And she said that, the author said that nearly all people, including men and women in engineering, were taught, trained, and have learned to work with men. But practically nobody, have the opportunity to learn how to work with women on engineering. So, I guess for most of us, that's pretty much the case, that we can work well with our male colleagues. But if you ask the question, we ask them from the other direction, who have the opportunity or have the experiences working with female engineers? Not a lot. So in TWIST, Taiwan Women in Science and Technology, so our society in Taiwan, in recent years, we have gathered a group of engineers and also engineering professors, women, and to plan for annually big forums on leading issues for women in STEM. So, for example, the first year was a more general topics. The last year was on workplace. So we want to promote a friendly workplace for all. So this is already on the front line pushing for the work culture. So I've been having the privilege to work with a lot of women engineers, engineering professors, and truly enjoyed that.
Thank you, Wenling. We're running out of time, and I think I'm going to leave on the air just Avi's question. What can we do as women in engineering to make engineering career work better for us so we have more retention in engineering roles, both technical and non-technical? That's a good one, and I don't think we would be able. It could be a whole round table, I think, with a lot of people answering of what could be done. So thank you so much for participating in this webinar. Thank you so much to our speakers and all the attendees. And we hope we will be able to see you in our next webinar. Thank you so much.